This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Squarespace. Welcome back to another episode of Ask the Buffalo. This is the show where you can ask any question from the wide world of technology. You can ask anything from phones, tablets, laptops, computers, motherboards, RAM, anything in between. Whatever question you have, I will try and answer. This week we got a lot of fun stuff. We're going to talk about BlackBerry BBX, their new QNX based operating system. We're going to talk about two new Nokia Windows Phone based 7 handsets. We're going to talk ice cream sandwich, Galaxy Nexus, some iPhone thrown in there, and some Apple television rumors. This is Ask the Buffalo. So if you want to ask a question, it's pretty easy to do. Once a week, every Tuesday on technobuffalo.com, we'll put up a post asking for your questions. You just leave your comments down below. Otherwise, if you're more into the social media thing, you could send me a question using the hashtag AskTheB to the Twitter handle at TechnoBuffalo. I'll read it and we will put it up here if it is selected. Let's go ahead and jump right into the questions. Our first question comes from Soham Adwani, who asks, "Hey John, will it be worth it to upgrade to OS 7 or should I wait from the awesomeness that is BBX? And do you think BBX is RIM's future?" So let me answer the second part of that question first. If RIM does have a future, BBX is definitely it. BBX is the phone version of RIM's QNX operating system, which is currently powering its BlackBerry playbook. It was announced last week at RIM's Wide Developer Conference, and it's finally coming sometime in 2012. If you ever used a playbook, you generally come away thinking this operating system works very well. It handles multitasking beautifully, multi-touch gestures are awesome, it can support repackaged Android apps, but it's been a little bit deficient. It didn't have a native calendar support, it didn't have BBM, and especially a mail client in there as well, it didn't have. Now RIM is going to be having all those things coming in early 2012, so hopefully that operating system will translate well to a smaller phone. If RIM is going to survive, they need to make BBX a success. OS 7 is the past, BBX the future. If you haven't upgraded to an OS 7 device yet, particularly the BlackBerry Bold 9900, which I used as my daily driver for a while and loved, don't bother, wait until 2012 for BBX. Our next question wants to talk a bit about Nokia, and this comes from user Holo Castaneda, who asks, will Nokia be back in the smartphone business with its release of Windows Phone? Well, if you ask a lot of people, especially those outside of the US, they'll say Nokia never left. Their market share, though, tells a different story. Kinda goes like this. Nokia has been supporting the open source Symbian platform in different forms for years. They sort of migrated over to another open source operating system is based on Linux, which is the same kernel, getting super geeky, called MeeGo. They released one phone that had it, the just released N9, which is awesome, but that is also the past. Now, Nokia is going to be supporting Windows Phone 7 with two launch devices. We've got the Nokia 800 and the 710. The 800 essentially being a repackaged N9 with Windows Phone 7, in the addition of a camera button. These are awesome phones. If one thing Nokia is known for, it is their amazing build quality. Nokia makes some of the best manufactured phones outside of Cupertino that I have ever seen. So I think that Windows Phone 7 and Nokia can be a huge success. Windows Phone 7 is an awesome operating system. It just hasn't had the adoption rate that Microsoft was hoping for. It needs a partner like Nokia to push it out to the mainstream, perhaps not in the US, but in other countries. I really do think that Nokia and Microsoft have a winner on their hands. Next, let's talk some Droid Razr and ice cream sandwich. This one comes from user Pisa, who asks, considering the Droid Razr will be upgraded to ice cream sandwich the next few months, should I get the Droid Razr or the Galaxy Nexus? Motorola had really bad timing announcing the Droid Razr the same day that the Galaxy Nexus and ice cream sandwich was announced. It made this awesome phone, or it would have been an awesome phone the day before, and the Droid Razr seemed surprisingly obsolete. I can honestly tell you, if you're looking to get a smartphone when both these are released, go with the Galaxy Nexus. You're going to get a completely unskinned version of Android, which you can customize and tweak any way you want without having to pull stuff back like you might have to do with Moto Blur on the Droid Razr. Also, you never know when Ice Cream Sandwich is going to be coming for sure. Motorola has said for sure it's coming. Don't worry. Don't worry. Awesome phone, get it. You'll have it eventually. But if Samsung has taught us anything, you just don't know when those upgrades are going to come. Go for the Galaxy Nexus. Ice Cream Sandwich looks gorgeous. It looks beautiful. It looks to be really the iteration of Android everybody was hoping for. Definitely go for the Galaxy Nexus. Extra hands for emphasis. Emphasis hands, which are surprisingly similar to jazz hands and spirit finger. If you want to start a website but you don't want to do the coding, take a look at Squarespace. They are a fully hosted platform, nothing to install. It's instantly updated and completely stable, point and click design and control, tons of flexibility. They've got beautiful galleries and slideshows all ready to go, 24-hour customer support. If you want to give it a shot, go to squarespace.com and use the coupon code TECHNO10 at checkout. If you want to show your support for us and show your support for the show and keep all of our lights on, definitely go check out Squarespace. Use the code TECHNO10. We appreciate it. Actually, a bit of history. When I first started in the website business, I started the john4lakers.com site, which was a complete Squarespace site. So I have a lot of experience with Squarespace. I like it. It really actually honestly does work very well. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into our last question. Comes from user Tommy2, who asks, is there going to be an Apple design television set? How much do you think it would be priced? Would you buy it? And what would the interface look like? Well, there's no doubt a prototype Apple television set floating around somewhere in Apple's labs. Whether or not it gets released has yet to be seen. A lot of the fire on this rumor came from the Steve Jobs autobiography when he said he finally cracked the television set and how to make it easy to use and intuitive. But presumably the biggest obstacle to getting an Apple television set isn't the TV itself. It's actually going to be the companies that are putting out the content, so the networks, how to get that on to a device and bypassing some of the cable providers, which might be less than pleased about an Apple television set. As far as price, who knows? Apple products always come with a bit of a premium. If it's a 42-inch set, I certainly would expect it to be in about the $2,000 price range. There have been rumors that it might be voice controlled, using the Siri technology. So you could say, Siri, Breaking Bad, and it'll play Breaking Bad. Or you could say, Siri, play the best show ever to air, and it'll start playing Friday Night Lights. But imagine in a crowded room or a party trying to yell at your television set, so certainly it'll have some sort of remote with it as well. This is all a big question mark. Not much information has come out of this. But would you guys buy an Apple television set? Certainly it would look pretty, but is it another example of form over function? Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Ask the Buffalo. For all your tech news, be sure to check us out at technobuffalo.com. We've got tons of tech information coming at you, hands-on video of all the latest products. We've got it there. I'll see you there on technobuffalo.com. Woo! And scene.